Greetings and welcome to Stunthangar Video Hangouts. My name is Charles Carter, and I'll be your host this evening. I want to extend to you my gratitude for you watching Stunthangar Video Hangouts. If you're watching this as a replay, I want you to know that I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please make a note of this so you can watch or be part of the live stream. Plus, we have an after party following the live stream, which is sometimes better than the live stream portion. You must be a registered Stunthangar Forum member to find the link to be part of the live stream and the following after party. Here at Stunthangar Video Hangouts, we talk about building and flying model airplanes, sport flying, competition flying, and what you've been doing lately. To join our conversation, if you are already a member of Stunthangar Forum, you can find the link if you scroll down to the section called At the Bench. Now that's right below in memory of our friends. Now, if you're not a member or if you're not logged into Stunthangar Forum, the At the Bench link will not appear. Now, if you're not a member, please register at stunthangar.com/SMF. That's stunthangar.com/SMF. That's Smart Men Flying. That's courtesy of Jeff Riley. When you register, you must use your real first and last name. You must put a space between those two. You must also have a valid email address or Sparky. The proprietor of Stunthangar will not approve you. Now, if you're inclined to not come in, but just enjoy watching us on YouTube, wonderful, fantastic. You can enter your questions or comments in the chat box over here. I'll do my best to make your comments or questions a part of the show. And understand, sometimes I can't get a word in myself. So be patient, and I will ask our illustrious panel your question or state your comments. And by the way, you only can do that during a live stream. So like I said earlier, I host these YouTube live streams every Monday and Friday evening starting at 6:45 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So come on in during that live stream, post your question or answer, and then come back and maybe watch the show at a more convenient time. I know that we have audiences all over the world, and sometimes this is too early, sometimes it's too late. So come in and watch the replay like a lot of people do, and don't forget to like and subscribe and share when you do that. Now, if you enjoy Stunthangar Video Hangouts that I host, or the many building videos, the contest coverage that Sparky does. Matter of fact, he just came back from Muncie, Indiana, did live coverage again of the Nationals. And that was great video coverage. There was some problems with it, but that was beyond Sparky's control. But if you enjoy it, please hit the thumbs up, and consider subscribing, sharing the videos. All these activities help. Engagement is important. Coming in the chat box, asking questions. All these things help the YouTube channel grow, the Stunthangar YouTube channel grow. Please also consider joining Stunthangar's YouTube channel memberships, which started just $4.99. And that works out to about less than actually 17 cents a day. I mean, that is a fantastic deal for what you're getting. You're getting access to member-only videos, being a member, and also, our show. We have some pretty talented, experienced builders and flyers that you can glean from. I mean, some are former world champions, former national champions, top 5 at the Nats. I mean, it's to me, it's a steal. I know I say it all the time, but it really is. I mean, if you think about the value of what we're bringing, I just can't imagine why people aren't all pitching in, basically 17 cents a day, $4.99 a month. That's the lower tier. We have 2 other tiers above that. So anyways, please consider joining us. I'm doing it, as a matter of fact, so I'm not asking you to do something that I'm not doing. And I don't have to do this. So please do that. Now, if you enjoy what I do and you want to get in touch with me, the best way to reach me is through my own YouTube channel, which is called Flying Control Line Stunt. That's Flying Control Line Stunt. And if you go there, locate the 2019 AMA National Championship video, which is a video that Sparky shot with his video camera, me flying his beautiful and light Junar XL. It was orange back then. And I flew that at the Nationals, and get a chance to check out my stunt pattern, being very, very careful with Sparky's plane. I did not want anything to happen to it, but it was kind of a bucket list day for me. My first time being at the Nats, and hopefully not my last. So anyways, if I have a question or comment there, I'll be able to respond to you because I'll get notification on my cell phone. If you get any comments or anything directed to me on Sparky's channel, Sparky might check the comments and maybe get back to me. But if you do it the other way, I'll get it for sure. All right. I want to thank you for your past, your present, and future support. You are making it happen. Please keep the conversations family room friendly. In other words, please don't use words or do things that you wouldn't say or do around your own children and grandchildren. And without any further ado, and now I'm going to post a link to the Stunthangar forum, and let me do that right now. And then I make my way over to what I call the control panel. Okay, I'm here at Stunthangar forum now, and that is posted. Okay, and let me take care of this here. Hopefully this works too, and I'll make my way to the control panel. Great. All right, great. That's done. And let me get over here. All righty. So looks like let me get to the what I call the control panel. Making my way there now. Just hang on, hold tight. We'll be cooking with gas very shortly. Hopefully everybody had a good weekend and had a chance to work in their shop or do some flying and share with us what's going on with you. This is what the Hangout's about. It's about talking about flying and building, and it's really enjoyable. I really enjoy it. Let me just do a few more things here, and you have my undivided attention. Hopefully some people will join me shortly. I know Naomi was the first one in last time. That was great. Need to get more women in here. If you happen to have a spouse or a friend that flies that's female, let her know that she's more than welcome in here. Everybody is welcome. All right, so right now we have 7 concurrent viewers, 5 likes. So if you haven't hit the like button, please do that. I see Marcel Legrand's first in the chat box, and he says, "Hi, Charles and everyone at Stunt School. Time to learn some more from the pros." Yes, yes. And then Gary Sinclair, like provided, and Gary is a member of our YouTube channel. He's also a monitor, so be careful because he can knock you out of here. And I see that Jim Hoffman's in here. Thank you, Jim, for coming in. Appreciate it, man. Good to see you.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well, doing very well. What you been up to?
Oh, am I the only one here?
So far.
Oh.
But hopefully we'll get some more people in. If you want to hold off on that to share with it later, that's fine.
All right, I'll hold off.
I'll tell you what I've been up to. I actually, Tryan, I don't know if you know Tryan. He used to go by Doran.
I know him from the chat, yeah.
Well, I was explaining to him that my SV11, I needed to have a better way of holding the batteries in there. And he showed me how to make these rails out of 1/8 balsa wood. And then I covered them with unidirectional carbon fiber, and they became really stiff, really rigid. And I glued them in the battery compartment so it holds the battery. And I worked on that this weekend. I'm really excited to get the SV11 back out flying because I was going through batteries because my compartment was just basically encased with foam. Mm-hmm. Didn't allow much air to go over the batteries. The batteries would get superheated. Thank God I never had a thermal reaction, a runaway, fortunately for me, but I did ruin like 4 batteries. That's kind of expensive.
Yes, sir.
So I'm excited. Took out all the foam, got the rails installed in there, and I'm looking forward to fly maybe as soon as Thursday. Not much air to go over the batteries. The batteries will get superheated. Oh, someone has an extra tab open.
So that's
me, but I did ruin like 4 batteries.
Well, he's right in that you don't want the battery wrapped in foam. You want them to have airflow going over them. But I heard you say that you made these rails out of balsa wood.
Yeah, and then then I put unidirectional carbon fiber all around it. I have a picture on my phone. I can transfer it to the computer later on and show what I did. But it's an
Well,
idea. Go
you're
ahead.
in an area I've never been. My batteries are held. I have rails, and they're made of spruce, and then the crossbars are made of either plywood or carbon, because the load on these rails is massive. That battery weighs coming up on a pound, but you to do a 30G turn, and that battery just turned into 30 pounds. So you have to consider that too. Again, I don't have experience with balsa rails, but that I would think about that.
Yeah, these are really rigid with that carbon fiber mat. It's not matte. I actually have, I don't know
It's
what weight.
unidirectional.
This
Yeah.
unidirectional is very, I mean, those rails are really strong. I was really surprised. I remember trying and said how strong they are, but they are very strong. And
Could
mine's
you
just, go ahead.
could you take a way to take a load, apply a 10-pound load to those rails? Now you have to distribute it along the length of the entire rail. Put a 10-pound load there. That would simulate a 10G situation, which ain't that much. So
Interesting.
consider that.
I will.
My rails are made of, like I said, spruce or basswood.
Now yours is a top mount battery, right? You top mount. Yours is a top mount.
Yeah, mine's really a bottom mount, bottom loader.
Okay. Well, mine's a side mount, so I have this fuselage sides holding the battery against all that. So I mean, I know it's still going in different directions, but
no, that's a big difference. That's a big difference.
Yeah, so it's we'll see. I mean, if it fails, I'll broadcast it. Don't do it this way.
Now, I'm a belt and suspenders guy. Like my airplane, well, you saw it, but I don't know if you noticed. The battery compartment has a floor, because if I were to drop that without that floor, if you drop that battery, you have a 1/16 skin on the belly. That battery go through that.
Yeah.
So I have a little floor to.
Yeah, yours. I took pictures of your setup. I really liked it, and I told you I liked it when we was flying together. It's a really robust system.
It is robust. It's a nuisance. The battery change process is slow. I get ridiculed for that occasionally.
Yeah, but at your level, when you're flying, I mean, you have time between, competitors and rounds and all that.
I've seen some systems that are really slick. If you have, and part of it is having a volume big enough to do it. My airplane is kind of a traditional airplane, but some of these Yatsenko looking airplanes, or Chris Cock, the big scale airplanes like Alan's Bearcat and Chris's Migish, they have these massive noses, and the volume. I remember Alan once said he's going to put a TV set in there. It's got so much. And so that gives them some options on mounting schemes.
Yeah, it does. I was noticing that, and Kestis, yeah, his big area inside there as well. Well, we got some more.
I'm not sure what his mounting scheme is. I don't recall.
Let me see.
Kestis qualified at the Nats. So.
Yeah, I saw that he did. He's a good flyer, good builder, very intelligent, very interesting guy. I always enjoy the little brief conversations I have with him, but they're always at a contest. So, this stuff to. Hopefully, I can get him to come here one day. I need to remember to email him or see if I can get him to come in, because he has some great ideas. I mean, he has a pretty interesting vocation, I think, too. So
Kestis is really off the charts on what he does in his workshop. I know some guys who are fabulous builders, and they're in awe of how does he do that. because he makes all that stuff. You know, he makes, all right, so here's an example. You know, Igor Berger makes these ultra lightweight carbon propellers. They're hollow, 12 or 13-inch 3-blade prop. It's going to come in about 17 grams. And that is just feather light. Kestis says, oh, I made one at 12, you know. So,
Yeah,
I don't know how he does it.
Kestis is amazing talent. He definitely is. I totally agree. Let me see here. Pardon me 1 second here, Jim. I think the original Steve Smith might have came in next. Hey, Steve, thanks for coming in.
Hi, Charles. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I just got back from the Nationals, and I noticed that Brendan and Angstrom are on.
Yeah.
I saw and helped Angstrom out a little bit when he was practicing, and I was happy about that. Denny,
Yeah, thanks for helping out.
The Spectra lines are really good. I'm flying those today, and oh, they're great. I think we need a video tutorial on how to tie those lines.
That's nice. And you can trace.
You're muted, Denny.
Yeah, go ahead, Denny.
In the Adventures in Spectra thread, there's a video that Mike Stinson did. And then there are a couple of other still picture guides to do it. And our own Jim Hoffman here did a really nice guide, a step-by-step, you know, showing it. It's not so you got really a couple of choices. So
Okay.
everybody's
So
intimidated
go
at
through
the tying process, but it really isn't that difficult to do. So
they feel great. I flew 5 times today on those, experimenting with different RPMs, and
I guess just start looking around.
I settled on 10,000 on the Rodak Vector on the 54-foot lines. That
64, I hope.
64, yeah.
Yeah, 54 you might be, you know.
No, that was too fast. No,
Yeah, that's a little quickish at 10,000 RPM there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was at right around 5.3.
Fine. Well, good. I'm glad you got them in the air, and I'm glad they're working out for you.
Yeah, they feel, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it, but they feel better.
That works. It feels better. Dennis, since you're talking, Dennis, why don't you tell us what you've been up to and how you doing?
Oh, well, I've been kind of distracted here lately, and I don't have a picture, but as of about 7 p.m., I have another grandchild. So,
congratulations.
and which
that's great.
meant that the rest of the day we were watching the other 3 grandchildren while mom and dad were off at the hospital and everything like that. So that's kind of defined my day. So,
Oh, wow.
so at any rate,
Great day.
yeah, that's a great time. It's a great time. It's kind of ironic too. It is my my brother Alan's birthday today also. So here we go, 2 people with the same birthday and within the same family and everything like that. It's statistically, I guess it's not as big a deal as it seems, but it just always amazes me when I run into people with the same birth date. So
We have that in our family, and the baby will hijack your brother's birthday.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he would anyway, but yeah, that's it. So at least for now, the big sisters and big brother are all welcoming the baby. Let's see how long that lasts. So, yeah.
Right. Let me catch up on the chat box. Let me see. Mark Lumen, he's a member of our YouTube channel, and he said, got you a like and gave us like 5 thumbs up. Thank you, Mark. You're feeling better, Mark. And then Dennis Adamison, who's right here and right now, He's also a member of our YouTube channel. Appreciate that support, Dennis. And he gave us a like. And then Mark Lumen came back with getting back in the shop, building, still recovering from the new back hardware. And he has some emojis. I'm not quite sure what those are. And then I have 2 on the table, almost ready to finish. Good. And then Marcel Legrand says, congratulations, Dennis. So we're all caught up. And I think the next one would be Ed Waski. How you doing, Ed?
I'm doing fine, everybody. And that just still recovering. Just a couple days since we last got together, doing a little bit of building, but mostly cleaning up and trying to sell some stuff to thin out the fleet and keep going. So just been gluing some flight controls on one of the control line planes and staying busy. Had some junior pilots that are either in high school or going to the Air Force Academy, just graduated. There's about 12 of them that got their pilot's license here. And of course, so they came down to the shop and looked at a couple of jets while they were being worked on, the engines and things like that. So it was nice to see a group of guys. So we have a A&P school and a flight school just on the same airport. So once again, it's a lot of us started off with free flight control line, and we're just keep trying to pass that along and get the interest. And I've got a meeting tomorrow about it. I've got another county that wants to help support the expo here. So I'll been preparing my notes for that and stuff. And I forgot to bring it home, but I had a nice article about Carl Hopkins, and I'll probably do that the next time I'm on, that I want to read a few notes that were really amazing that were said many, many years ago and stuff. So appreciate everybody. And, that's about it for right now for me. I'll probably be only on about an hour tonight. I've got a lot of few meetings tomorrow and a lot of things to get prepared for. But good seeing everybody, and all the best, Charles.
Thank you very much, Ed. And then Gary Sinclair, back from vacation. Thank you.
Yeah.
Missed you, my man.
Yeah, I missed you guys too. I watched a little bit.
Good.
More glue?
And
Hey, Jim, what did you mix up there?
So
That wasn't more of your paint, was it?
No, I don't think it was paint.
I hope it wasn't the 2K that you're mixing there, or 4.
no. I'm one of the upsides of living where I live is we have grapefruit trees in my yard. And so I have grapefruit juice, but it separates. So I was reconstituting it, but
Are you using
grapefruit juice is wonderful.
I wanted
very good. Hey, well, Jim, now we have a crowd. You want to show what you wanted to maybe show?
Well, you asked me what I've been up to. So I went flying this weekend. I drove to Tucson. I flew with my posse, Lou Wolgass, John Callentine, Warren T. Hart.
Oh, nice.
And so I flew, Dennis has been coaching me on how to use Spectra, and I'm working my way up in higher value airplanes. And so this weekend I put it on my Galloping Comedian. That's an old time stunt airplane.
Yeah.
That mine is pretty light, weighs in the low 30s with a Brodeck 40. And so I took a flight with the 15,000 braided cables. And then, a little science. I took a flight with Finn's 50 ground test Spectra, back-to-back flights. And the difference is it's small, but it's definitely Spectra's better. I feel it in the corners, like in the climb and dive, because you generate less whip. I took out 3 grams of tip weight, which is not enough, but the next flight of that airplane will probably be in Los Angeles, where the altitude is much lower. And normally I put tip weight back in when I go there. So it's probably pretty close for LA. So I did that. What else? So John Callentine, he is building a P-39 Air Cobra stunter. I don't know if any of you have seen any of the photos of it.
No.
So he's got it in essentially ready to paint. It's all in one piece. It's beautiful. I don't know if any of you know his work. He's front row anywhere. So this plane looks beautiful. It weighed 53 ounces with everything on it. So, to add 10 ounces for paint, and he's in the low 60s, which would be just right. It's I'm guessing the wing area is about in the mid 600s.
Wow.
So I did that. And my Lunar. So I've been working on that painting disaster.
Now hold on. You're gonna want to get against the box and then eventually.
So I've been repairing the wheel pants.
All right.
They're not perfect, but they're a darn sight better than they were.
Very nice. Looks good.
So I'm doing that. And let's see if I can show this. So how do I turn my screen around? There we go. Here, Charles, if you let me share my screen.
Oh, I
there.
haven't done that.
We see it.
So here's where I am right now. There's a lot of black edging that needs to happen. Here you can see the top of Warren's airplane. You see the black pinstripes.
Yeah.
So I've masked off the bottom.
Hey, will you give me a
So
that's
So how did you fix the bleeding you had with the black last time?
well, let's see. That involved taking some paint off and starting. Let me flip this over. I took some paint off, and in some places, I simply made like in some places, I simply made that black a little bit thicker.
Oh, okay.
So I had a second chance at an edge.
Oh, that's a good way of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like back here's a spot I probably should fix, but I haven't, and so there was that. And then on the airplane, there were places where I sanded down to the primer and started over.
Okay.
Pretty painful. So I'm a long way from the finish line.
And an I-beamer.
Yeah. It's a lot like an Aries, except with a good airfoil. I'll say a better airfoil.
Very good. Well, thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. I think next, you might not have been next, but I'm going to call on Tryon. And by the way, thank you so much for your help, Tryon. I was just telling Jim earlier, he was the first one in about the rails and how I was surprised. And you said it over a year or so ago, how strong they get. And I was blown away how strong those rails are.
Oh yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. And it probably took you like, what, 15 minutes to make them?
No, it took me a little bit longer than that.
A little bit longer than that.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm slow.
No, but that's cool. I mean, I'm glad you enjoy it and you discover something new.
Yeah, I think it's simple, and the only downside is just the precision as far as placing the battery in the same place every time. I need to maybe make some sort of gauge.
Put a stop over there.
Put a stop in there. That's the only thing. Put a stop in there. But it'd be neat if I had like an adjustable stop. I mean, like Jim Hoffman's setup, he has adjustments, So, but I mean, hey, It's better than what I had before. I really do like it. But,
Yeah,
but
and
tell
this is
me,
gonna, judging by the picture that you sent me, is gonna, the battery is gonna hang nice and in the center of the airflow, so it should get nice cooling on it. But
yeah.
that makes me wonder why you might have too small of a motor on it. That's why the battery is getting hot.
Well, you know what? I don't know what happened to me a couple of years ago or a year ago, but the motor just shut off. This is when I was first flying the plane, and I didn't have a whole lot of time, but I had to run back and capture the plane and try to land. It was a hard landing, and when it hit the grass, it kind of destroyed the battery compartment. Now the battery compartment is like Swiss cheese. There's a lot of nice holes, but trying to repair it, I actually put a piece of wood over those holes. So I think that's why it was superheating. Plus, the battery compartment being encased in foam, I think that was a contributing factor.
Oh,
So
you stopped all the airflow. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm really excited about probably flying it this Thursday at the soonest, and for sure Friday. But probably
Yeah.
expect to have like 6 people joining me.
Mhm.
But what you been up to? I know we're talking about me, but what have you been up to?
Wasn't exactly me, but my young Padawan is doing some nice progress here. I want to share this with you.
Okay.
This is his first wing.
Looks good. Wow. That looks good.
So it's nice and straight. You can see like a nice straight
Yeah.
trailing edge. Straight wing. It's a rigid wing. The covering went down nicely. We have no goosebumps anywhere because we made sure we blew the dust off and stuff like that before we did the covering. So the covering looks like first class.
Yeah. Now, how do you get rid of the dust so there's no boogers on the film? What do you do to get rid of all the dust?
Just blow it off.
Just blow it off.
Clean up your environment first. Clean up the bench. Take the dust off and then use a compressed air and just blow the wing off. Make sure you take all the balsa dust off.
No.
So then
I use a vacuum cleaner.
6.5 WVI, right? And then when you lay it in, we just secure the perimeter only, and then we use a heat gun, and everything shrinks down and settles in and looks. I mean, this is actually probably as good of a job as you're gonna get anywhere.
It looks good.
I mean, I tried to get the better angle, but to get a feel for it. But
It looks really good. Now, did you build that wing in a jig?
yes, we build it in a jig.
What kind of jig? The
Yeah,
tubes
the
or
rods.
rods? Okay.
Yeah, on rods, yes. And the kit came with a 5/16 holes in a ribs, and we just use that. So we built it on the rods technique. I guess I did share with you guys the progress as it.
You did. You have been. Appreciate that.
Yeah, but this is. I mean, this I couldn't expect any more from how well it's done. I mean, the wing is really, really nice.
Very good. Let me see here. Caffeine. I think you're next, Caffeine. What you been up to?
Hi guys. I'm good. Well, after my last session, I was very successful with my effector. So I got very excited to fly again to try some new setting. I tried to shorten more of my exhaust deflector to get more power from my engine, so I can fly a bit faster and better line tension. But unfortunately, I was alone at the field. No one was there, so I had to fly alone
Caffeine.
with the students.
Caffeine,
Yeah.
your audio is pretty bad. I don't know why it is. Are you far from your computer, or are you far from your router?
No, can you hear me now?
Yep.
I hear
Yeah.
We hear you, but it was just
Okay.
the quality
I will
wasn't very
just.
nice.
Yeah. Hello.
Oh, that's better.
Is it better?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Cool. So I had to fly alone. I was using a Stooge. It's a goalpost Stooge. So the grass at my flying field was pretty tall on last Saturday. So I was having a hard time to take off because every time I released the cable, the post was going down, but it wasn't going really like 180 degree. Like it's just still like this. So it's not moving. So and then I decided to go into the border of the grass and asphalt on my flying field. But I was unfortunate. The plane was like it was like it had some a little bump after releasing the cable. So it it hit the prop hit the asphalt. So it's just cut the prop and uh,
Oh,
uh I I couldn't fly it. So yeah, hopefully it didn't do any damage to the airframe. So yeah, well, I was thinking
Hold your
about
mouth.
changing the system. Uh, do you
Check
have
the
any
motor mount.
recommendation?
Hey,
Keep going.
caffeine.
Yeah.
I've used a piece of carpet on tall grass with pretty good success. Just a couple of pieces. It didn't take much to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
And maybe if you could
Yeah.
show me your stooge also, there might be something inherently wrong with it because my legs on my stooge, they fall flat and allow the plane to move out with nothing at all. So there might be something inherently wrong with the stooge design.
Mm-hmm. Probably because let me show you some video that I have studied.
All right.
So
Is you,
well, this is not my video, but I I think I've got something similar. Like this, it happened. Like you see, it's
Oh,
after
yeah.
as soon after the release, it's like the nose is a little bit going down, and then if you're lucky, if you have a
Oh,
very
okay.
short dress, if you have very
Yeah, it
short dress, you
looks
will
like
be fine. But
your landing
if
gear
you
needs
don't,
to be bent forward, caffeine.
okay.
That's one thing I noticed.
Well,
Anybody else see that? The landing gear is probably too far back. Anybody concur or disagree with that?
I also see that
Yeah.
release mechanism is not flat on the ground. Am I missing?
Yeah.
Seeing that wrong?
That's true. Also, yeah.
That should just fall to the ground out of the way.
Yeah, that's what
there's another aspect to it. If you have any drag on that system, when it falls down, then it doesn't fall out down fast enough. Another thing could be is if it's too heavy, then it has a lot of inertia. It doesn't want to come down fast. So I would definitely look into how easy is it coming down, or if anything, you can add a spring to it. Put like a torsion spring into it, so you force it. Like as soon as you release it, it's going to go real fast.
Okay.
Do you think it could be as simple as oiling it up or something like that? There might be some friction in the bearing or something like that. Give a little shot of glow fuel before the next time and work it back and forth a few times. It's got to see if the oil helps loosen it up a little bit, but obviously it's not moving fast enough and it's going to keep getting you into trouble. I think even if the landing gear was forward, Charles, that's coming down so slow, it's forcing the tail into the air, and it's just just tipping it right over on them.
Mm-hmm.
So
Well, I was also thinking about getting a bigger wheel size. So yeah,
yeah,
because of the tall grass. What do you think about it?
I think you
No.
need to focus on that stooge and see why it's not releasing and just snapping right down.
Yep.
I mean, all the things you're talking about are good things to do. You know, the wheels won't hurt you or anything like that, but that you know, the goalposts have to fall. You know,
I
they have
agree
to
with
fall right
Dennis.
It
down.
looks like the wheels
It
are
did.
hanging up on the grass. Too much rolling resistance.
Okay. So
Is
what
there,
about removing? What about removing the goalpost and then just run a wire under the stab and then so no
caffeine?
goalpost at all. What do you think about that, Stooge?
One thing at a time. I mean, make sure the goalposts just drop under their own weight
Okay.
first before you change other things.
All right, well, clean this up, clean this thing up.
Okay, it's fine. Cause I don't have much more. I've got this line in the corners. And
All righty. Thank you.
So
it's like a half.
you guys any inputs for me?
I have something for you.
Yep.
You hear me?
Yeah, we hear you, Steve.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. On your stooge with that goalpost thing, is there any chance that you have a mechanism that has a pin with a release on it? So when you go out to the circle and you pull the string, the pin comes out and then the goalpost falls
Yes.
forward.
Yes.
Okay. So try this. Go to the store and get a shoelace and make the shoelace, put a loop on each end of the shoelace, and then take that goalpost and take it off of the stooge. And now
Okay.
where your goalpost is at and the pin goes in and out, use that shoelace and put that shoelace, straddle that shoelace around the back of the fuselage in front of the rudder, under the stabilizer and over the top of the fuselage. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So what's happening is you got too much crap underneath your tail wheel and your airplane's a little bit nose heavy and ain't got no clearance under the propeller. So you're bouncing the tail up when you launch it because the stooge ain't out of the way. You got a bump there.
Okay.
It's causing you to strike the prop and it's going to break your engine mounts. If you haven't already done so, you need to check the engine mounts over real well because sometimes in the ARF, their mounts are very delicate. And you don't want them to crack. It's kind of I had my Nobler did that to me. I made a hard landing and broke the mounts in it. Was able to fix it luckily. But if you're able to put a shoestring around there, like I said, underneath the stabilizer and around the top of the fuselage in front of the rudder, and then back under the other side of the stabilizer and back to the pin and pin it to the stooge.
Yep.
When you go out to the handle and you pull the pin, the shoelace will stay there and the airplane will leave. You know what I mean? Because one side of the shoelace will stay in the pin and then the airplane will leave and the shoelace will drag off from under the airplane.
Yeah.
Or you can put a small device on the tail wheel. You put a little lasso on the tail wheel with a little loop on it and then run the pin. You can run the pin through that. And that way the airplane's all the way forward.
I can't hear where it's going.
Steven, for that you can just use a line clip.
There you go. Exactly.
Put a line clip on a tail wheel, and one end goes on a tail wheel, and the other end goes in a pin.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait a minute. If that's an ARF airplane he's flying, don't do that. Don't hook it to the tail wheel, because there's a wire going in the bottom of the airplane. There's one screw holding it in, and that wood it's in is not hitting on much. Don't do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Attach it to the tail wheel. That tail wheel supposed to pull out.
Yeah, I would prefer the shoelace going over under the stabilizer and go over the fuselage.
Honestly, if you got, I didn't see the picture of the launcher that you're using, But it sounds like the launcher that's got 2 posts sticking up, and Wendy developed that one like that.
Right.
Yes.
Used one like
Yes.
that.
It
And
was. Mine is the Don Ogren. The Don Ogren series.
Don Ogren. That is the Wendy one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oil your hinges. Check your hinges. Make sure that thing falls real well. Because I have used one of those. Terry McDowell had one of those, and I don't know who ended up with it, but anyway, it works very well. But if you use the shoestring, the problem with that, it can pull that tail down, and then as soon as you release, the tail jumps up. You still hit the propeller.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, there's a lot of us in here. Let me give some other people a chance, or else everyone won't get a chance to contribute. Stephen, now go ahead and tell me about what's going on with you, Steve and Shella.
Oh, not too much. I've been kind of, my Nobler that I fly all the time, the ARF Nobler's got I don't think it has the stock elevator joiner in there. You know, and the stock elevator joiner is it's a steel rod like a horseshoe.
Right.
And then it has the metal arm in there that's wired back and forth, crisscrossed, and then soldered so it stays in place. Well, in this airplane, there's a nylon horn there. And the other day I was flying the airplane. I did the wing over, and I noticed in the wing over, the airplane was in the 10 o'clock position and my hand was in the 12 o'clock position. Then when I came out of the wing over, the airplane dipped real bad, and then it came out, instead of being at 8 feet or 6 feet, it was at 20 feet or 25 feet or so. It was real high. I thought, well, maybe the lead out got wrapped around itself and it was stuck. I don't usually have that problem, but that's what I was thinking. And I figured maybe a couple laps would go around and it would straighten itself out, and then it would straighten out and I'd continue flying. So I went around a couple more laps and the airplane seemed to straighten out and go back to normal. I did a few loops inside, outside, and did a horizontal with it.
Get down.
And in the middle of the second horizontal, it slopped out and did something that it shouldn't have done. Anyways, long story short, I bring the airplane back, land it safely, and I have the control and neutral where the lead out should be even with each other and the handle should be in neutral and the elevator should be neutral with flaps. And in the neutral position, the elevator was 1/4 of an inch up and the lead outs were off by about a 1/2 of an inch. So I had the airplane by the wing. I held the flap, and then I kind of, not gently, but kind of abruptly gave the elevator a twitch.
Right.
And sure enough, it slipped back into neutral. And then everything went back in its place. Now, the only way to get in that airplane and fix it is to cut the tail out of it, take the stabilizer out of it, and cut the stabilizer out, and then build a new stabilizer and elevator for it, and then make a new control rod and a horn. So I was thinking for just purposes of what I use the airplane for, and basically it's not for looks, or it's an ARF, it's built, already built. You're not going to get any appearance points or anything like that, and just use it for flying. I was going to make a secondary set of controls from the flap to the elevator, much like a twister, like a SIG twister, on the external instead of internal, and they would just piggyback the internal controls, and it would save the elevator from slipping. And I know that it would work. I just don't know how the airplane would respond or how the controls would be after you put a second set of controls on it and didn't remove the other set.
It's interesting.
So in trying to get an airplane set up to fly, in that time I was only able to come up with a Magnum that runs at about, it's got an OS 61 on it, and it only runs about 5 minutes and 45 seconds. So if you do anything with it, you got to be really quick. you gotta be real fast.
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
545
Philip has
is
a question. Hang on, Tryon. Go ahead, Philip.
Stephen, if you got the ARF Nobler, top flight ARF Nobler.
Yeah.
If you go in there under the elevator, you know by where the controls are supposed to be. I'm gonna bet you what's happened. That push rod, where it makes a 90-degree and goes into the horn that goes back and forth. I bet it's gotten in there too far and in bound. All you need to do is cut the monocoat on both sides, go in there, and you may need to take the push rod loose and put a washer on the side of that thing, solder it on there where it can't go into the bind, and then fix the other side with a solder or however you want to do it. And it'll have to be something there because it's real small back there. But
what else could be? Maybe it's slipping inside the push rod itself. The push rod has the terminations at the ends, and maybe the joint is broken and it's moving back and forth.
Well, that could be it too. I just cut 2 holes in the back end and take a look at the horn and see what's
Either way,
going on.
you could see them both like that. Yes.
Very good.
Cut both sides up. Mine, if you have any problem with it when you put it back together, I ended up where the fuselage comes together at the back. Yes. I took a piece of balsa and stuck in here just below where the horn hangs. It's an inch down from the elevator, inch and a half down, inch and a quarter down. They put a piece of wood in there that forced the fuselage sides. They look like they're bulged now because it comes together at the very back. But now it's kind of bulged.
On TV.
Just so you got room for the push rod to work.
I see.
Everybody says the problem with those is they bind up. Well, they do, but I mean, you're a modeler. Figure something out.
Right?
Yeah.
You make it work.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome.
Let me catch up on the chat box. I think I left off. Oh, here we go. Tony Sanbendetto, who's also a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you very much for your support. He gave us a like. So now we have 17 likes and 26 concurrent viewers. So please, if you haven't hit the like button, please hit the like button. It doesn't cost you a penny to do that. And it doesn't cost to subscribe. I think Sparky earlier said we're almost at 4,000 subscribers. So please subscribe if you haven't. And when you do subscribe, make sure you hit the notification bell and select all so that whenever we come on or Sparky comes on, you'll be notified. And then old control line pilot, that's Bob Whitley, who's also a member of our YouTube channel. I can tell by the moniker next to his name. He says, like given, gonna have to miss you tonight. Hopefully catch you Friday. I did get a bit done on some models the last few days. All right, good for you. And then Peter Navai, he says he's also a member of our YouTube channel. Thank you very much, Peter. He says, regarding you, Caffeine, he's saying you can shorten the goalposts. You know, being a tail dragger, the posts don't need to be very high. So that's another suggestion there. And I think next would be Brendan and Angstrom. How you guys doing? You got to unmute yourself.
Where'd they go?
I don't know, they turned off their camera. I think it was just a mistake there. You got to unmute yourself and then also enable your camera, Brendan. We can't see you or hear you. Hey, Brendan. We don't see you and we don't hear you. All right, well, let me welcome Jonathan Karadas. He was here for a second. I don't know if he backed out, but see, hey, Jonathan, thanks for coming in. And Brendan, you're in here twice now. Anyways, let me go on to the next person. That's Mark Wise. Hey, Mark, thanks for your patience. I know we have a lot of people in here, and so we're up to 20. So you guys, we got to be patient with each other, not trying to step on each other's words. There's 20 of us in here. So go ahead, Mark. What you been up to besides seeding, setting up the world championships, you know?
Well, I think the highlight of my week was meeting this taller, more handsome man than I've met on the Hangout, and that's Keith Charleston.
Oh, I bet. Yeah, that's.
I thought you was talking about me, Mark.
No,
He said tall. He said tall, Gordy.
That's
Oh.
next week. But it was, you know, one of the real nice things for me, and I'm sure others, was meeting some people either that I chat with on here or just some other heroes who came to the banquet. It was really nice meeting Keith. We spent some time together. I met Bill Lee, who since 1980, if my memory is right, has been our contact and our leader in FAI World Championship events. And Les McDonald signed my plans to my stiletto. And I asked him to write something. I asked him to write something on my plans. And he said, "What do you want me to write?" And I said, "Whatever you want." And I didn't see it until later. And later I saw that he wrote to the best Pampa president ever. So I paid him a lot for that.
That's way cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Who else? Frank McMillan. I knew Jerry Phelps, and he passed away a couple of years ago. Mary was supposed to come and accept his award. She was in the hospital, but their daughter and granddaughter were there, and that was wonderful. So, you know, in addition to the flying and everything else, it was a nice gathering. A couple other things I just want to throw out to you. John Paris and Michelle and others they've run an incredible Nats for the last 2 years. And I've been talking to John about, you know, how about, do you want to get back into flying and have someone else? So that's, you know, as far as that's concerned, John may have a conflict depending on what the South Korean, if they send a team to the World Championships. And if I remember right, John's wife is from South Korea, and there's a tie there. So if anyone would enjoy the challenge of being the Nats CD in next August, please let me know. It's going to be every year is important, but this one's going to dovetail with the Worlds, and it's going to take a little bit of work, but it'll be very rewarding. Second thing, I think most of you know now that there are several committees within Pampa that have been working, and I think working out real well. And I'm going to form a third, and that's going to be all about judging. It's not that anything is broken, but I think we look at every aspect of the Nats every year, pilots and all that, and I'd like to feel a little more comfortable about how we acquire judges and how they're rated, and to give them a fair shake. And so we're going to do that. I think Bob Hunt's going to be on the committee. Probably one other committee member will come from the council, and then I'd like a couple of Pampa members who were contest type flyers to be on the committee. And I just want to look at it and be comfortable with it. We spend a lot of time with qualifying pilots, and I just want to make sure that we're doing a good job on the judges' side. So I'm not saying anything is broken. It's just something I think we need to look at. And if anyone has a passion to help with that, please let me know. The judges do a great job. I just want to feel a little more comfortable that if someone says something, I can say, well, we have a judges school, we have a pamphlet, we have the how-tos, we have it all. And trust me, these guys are doing it great.
I'd be interested in that.
Hey, Mark, don't you want any judges on that committee?
Well, Yeah, I have one, and that's Mark Overmeyer.
Yeah.
Okay. If we want a second, I have no problem with that. And Steve, if you wanted to do that, you're more than welcome. It'll just be Zoom calls. It won't be anything in person. We can't really do that.
All right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I would like to be involved if it's okay.
well, it's my committee, so I guess it's okay. I don't have to answer to anybody on this. And Steve, this is
being the president, he can pretty much do what he wants.
This is not a witch hunt. This is just, I think, part of Pampa. If our main responsibility is to provide a quality NATS, then that's a huge part of it. And it's hard for pilots this year. I'm not sure I've ever seen more competitive flying than I had this year. And
you're right about that.
I think we just owe it to make sure that every aspect of the NATS is running as good as we can run it. That's my responsibility.
Very, very good. I think so.
So that's where I am. I started working today on the Worlds, and I think that'll probably keep me really busy until next August, because the scope of it is it's big. It's there's a lot of pieces to it, and that's fine. I just got to learn them.
Very cool. Well, if I could go back to Brendan and Angstrom, now that we see you and hear you.
Yeah, we're back. Yeah, got back from the Nats. Angstrom's gone before for the beginner event early in the week. This was his first go for the junior side of things, and it started off with a bang. He told me I could tell this story. I already pre-screened it with him, but it's funny. Yeah, so at 8 o'clock, we're waiting on the judges to get done, and we're expecting things to kick off at 8. And then Angstrom's got a rumble in his tummy. It's like, I got to go to the bathroom. And he's the first one up on the junior circle. Right. So he and it's right at 8. It says, we got all our nerves. We're ready to go right at 8. So he runs out to the RV to go to the bathroom, and he takes a good 20 minutes there. The judges came out probably at about 8:15 looking for the first participant, and Will Davis helped me move Angstrom's plane to the flying circle while Angstrom finished up and came out. So, yeah, I don't know what you were doing in there, buddy, but that was our start to the Nats.
That can be very stressful coming out of the bathroom, and then you got
too much information.
Yeah.
Oh.
But it's funny though. He did come running out and grab the handle, and it was go time, so he didn't have too much to think about it. But it was a blast. His first go around, he threw an extra loop in on the horizontal aids. Yeah, threw an extra one there. Maybe had some jitters or something, and. But I think Sam on the first flight, Sam Lonke beat him by like 20 points. And then Sam tried to make it interesting on the second flight by, I think on the hourglass, Sam, hit his plane, broke a prop, and that everybody's running around with epoxy to try to get it. So Angstrom's second flight was good. So it really came down to that third flight. And Sam pulled it out with, I think in the end, maybe about 25, 30 point difference, better in Angstrom, but it was a fun go of things. Very fun.
Very good. And so that was, what level competition was that?
That was the Junior Open.
Okay. Very good. Very good.
He flew very well.
Hey,
I watched the whole flight.
Congratulations, young man.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. And then we got the surprise that Will Davis put a video online on YouTube and posted it with Angstrom's name, and it showed his first flight and stuff. And I don't know, it was just kind of cool as a memento to have that posted, and I appreciate Will throwing that up on YouTube.
Yeah, that's cool. I think I saw that.
Yeah, and it just so happened to be the one, again, that had the extra half loop in it. So if anybody's using that as an informational, instructional video, watch out for that extra half loop on the horizontal eights.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that. I'm going like, oops.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, nobody put that in the comments though. Nobody put that in the comments yet, but I was waiting for somebody to throw it in there.
Oh man. You know,
hey guys, let me let you know what's going on. We have Stuart Morris next, and Albert, and Carl, and John Miller, Gordon, Keith Trossel, Philip Bailey, Jordan Karatis, and then just Tim Justice joined us. So there are people waiting to get in. So try to be a little bit brief because we have a lot of people who probably have something to contribute to our conversation. And then we have in the chat box, Philip Bailey gave us a like. Thank you very much, Philip. Appreciate that. You're multitasking. That's awesome. So with that being said, Stuart Morris, what's going on with you, man?
Well, I'm just still working on my tutor. Here's the back end of it.
Make it big here.
You know,
So I just put the hinges up. So, and then I just put a coat of this on the dope on the fuselage tonight. So other than that, hopefully I'm flying tomorrow.
Now, this is a new tutor, or this is a repair on top of the other repairs?
Oh, this is the twister.
Oh, twister. Okay.
This is a build. So I'm almost there. I'll be there soon.
Very good.
Other than that, yeah, I'm gonna fly tomorrow morning, I hope, and then maybe tomorrow evening when the winds are low. So we'll see how it goes.
Very good. Hey, thank you. And then Al Fierro, how you doing, Al? We can't hear you, Al. You got to unmute your mic. I might have muted you because of some conversations.
You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm using an iPhone, so it's yeah, I'm doing good. I just want to sign on and remind everybody that the Northeast Regionals registration's open. And there's a block of rooms there if somebody wants to come out this way. And I did some flying this week. But yeah, all the information's on Stunthangar if to get rooms if you're coming from a distance.
Cool, thank you.
But
so what did you fly? You said you did some flying. What plane did you fly?
P-40, working on a Super Tiger 46, trying to get it dialed in, trying to learn the engine. I have one good running one and I have a bad running one, and I'm trying to figure out why the one runs bad. And I put a new ring in it, new piston, everything, and it still runs bad.
Yeah, Super Tigers are mysterious, aren't they?
Yeah. So, but we have two that run really, really good, and one that runs like a one-speed engine. It runs like a OS 40 FP. And can't understand it. So throwing one more Hail Mary at it.
Runs in a wet 2 cycle.
What's that?
You said it runs in a wet 2 cycle, huh?
Yeah. Yes.
It doesn't run like a Super Tiger should, does it? Yeah, no. Mr. Wright has a couple of them that do that. I don't know what it is. He's got a couple of them that are real sweethearts and they're just perfect, and then he's got 2 of them that are just they're just a get hot piece of shit.
Yeah, no, it's same prop, same fuel, same glow plug.
Exactly. Yeah, same situation.
I put a new ring in it. It was a little soft on compression. Now the compression's good, and so what I did now is, it's running like it's weak. It doesn't break. Doesn't break into a 2 if you have it on a 4-stroke. Like it should run. So I took 10,000. It had 25,000 head shim in it, which all the other ones have in it. And so I took out the 25, put an 8 in it, and I have to test fly it. So, but other than that, that's
maybe that'll help it.
Yeah, that's what I'm hoping. I'm trying to get it to run like the other ones. Venturis are the same. Everything's the same. Same tank, same plane, just swapping one out. Two run great, one doesn't, so.
Yeah.
So what do you think, Gordon?
Say what?
What do you think about the Super Tiger 46 that Al Fierro's having some problems with?
Well, if it's got good compression, I'd be checking the Venturi, the spray bar to find out if it's got a little dirt in it.
It's all been taken apart, cleaned 3 times.
All the tugs I've had have run super 2.4 brake.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So
You guys are both gearheads, so
yeah.
You and Gordon, you guys are both gearheads, you and Gordon.
No, I checked and double checked all that. I took the engine apart, cleaned everything, and even tried a different cylinder, piston, new ring, new different liner, honed it out. It has great compression now. It just runs like a 1-speed motor. I had a Super Tiger 40S in there. I tried that, and that's just a one-speed motor. It's but it runs like an FP40. It has power in it and it goes, but it just doesn't sound good. It doesn't.
I have an objection about your FP40s.
What's that?
My FP40s ran like a sewing machine.
Oh yeah.
Yep, 2.4 brake through the whole pattern. You can ask John Miller about that.
What prop you got on it?
You might. I think that was quite a jump going from 25 to what'd you say, 10 thousandths or 8 thousandths on your head gasket.
Yeah. Well, I'm doing extremes. Yeah.
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 I don't think you should have to go under 15.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's it has clearance. I'm just going to try it out. I'm trying to set it for a strong 4-stroke, and I want it to break into a 2, and it doesn't. It's not doing it.
So what prop are you running?
I was running a APC 12.5, which runs great on the other engines, and I've been experimenting with a Master Air Screw 3-blade 11.6, which runs really good on that engine that doesn't break. It just, the plane flies well with it. It just doesn't sound like a Super Tiger.
What kind of airplane and how much does the airplane weigh?
It's a P40 and it weighs like 48 ounces.
Oh, that's
how come you don't put an 11.6? How come you don't put an 11.6 on it?
Well, I got an 11.6 3-blade, but I'm running what works out here.
An 11.6 2-blade at about 8,800 RPMs or 8,600 RPMs, it should be it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all the other ones run with we run in my mentor runs all these engines all the time. Says the prop is an APC 12.5. So that runs on all.
Well, it'll turn a 12.5, but that's not a prop for it.
What's that?
I said it'll turn a 12.5, but that's kind of the top end for it. You know what I mean? That's like that's like the biggest prop you want to put on it.
Right. Well, the other engines, run great with it. So this one's just a little weak.
Yeah.
So you're right. If I put less load on, it's going to 4-stroke more.
Right.
That's true. But I'm just trying to get it to run like the other motors.
Well, every motor is different.
Yeah.
You can have 10 motors that run pretty close. You always have one that's an oddball.
Right.
And you can check it, check the timing, everything, and you're not going to find out why.
Yeah.
I've been there, done that.
Yeah, that's basically what's going on. So
yeah,
I'm gonna try. Maybe I'll bring a 11.6 along and try that. But For
Try it
some
and see
reason,
what
on the,
happens.
yeah,
Try
but I
it
mean,
and see.
the 12 has more, line tension.
Right, right.
Like,
Yeah.
where
I'm
I
com-
fly,
Just domestic whiskey.
you could even, Mark was there. The wind is constantly switching around,
Is it?
So you need
So you
good
need
line
pull.
tension.
You need constant line tension. You need a constant puller then.
Right.
Al,
So.
me a quick
Gotcha.
question. I got to take the dog out. You said you put a lot of stuff in this motor. Is it broke in good?
Yeah. What do you mean? The ring?
Well, if you said you changed the ring, have you give it 20 or 25 runs yet?
I not 20 or 25 runs. No, I didn't. But I did. What I did was, you might cringe a little bit, but I put a 9.3 on it and ran it in that way, and then the compression came up quick.
Okay, it's probably sealed then. I was thinking when you put a fresh ring in it, it takes a few runs for the thing to start making power, and it's got to make power in order to relax enough to go into a 4-stroke. So,
right.
I don't know. When you get it figured out, let me know though. I'd like to learn some of these answers. But I will be back in a few minutes. I got to take Honorable Dog out.
All right.
To go out.
All right. Thank you, gentlemen.
Well, that's it. I've been messing with. I don't want to take. I know there's other guys waiting. So it's.
All right. Well, thank you, Al. Appreciate that. So up next would be Carl Reed. Hey, Carl, how you doing? And then after Carl will be John Miller.
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you okay.
Well, I scored some treasures yesterday.
What'd you get?
I got a Magnum XL 46.
Oh, nice.
RC motor though.
It's all right.
I don't know if it's any good or if they are good. And then I got another one that's a 40 Magnum XL RC. And then I got, see what's this one? Oh, a Torpedo or Thunder Tiger. Yeah, Thunder Tiger 15 RC. So I just wondered if these engines are any good or if I just use them for fishing weights.
I haven't used any of
Depends
those.
on what you're fishing for.
Well, they were given to me. They were free, so I grabbed them.
Good.
So, anybody got any comments on these motors?
Now they're good if you put a Venturi and a needle valve on them. They're probably just fine. If they got bearings, they're a little heavy. If they don't have bearings, they're probably great.
Well, the 40 is a bearing, and the 46 is a bearing. So.
All right. So those are basically like OSSF engines, kind of.
Yeah.
Those are Magnum XLs or XPs.
XLs.
XLs.
Yeah, Magnum XL 46.
Those are the ones in the blue box with the red label, right?
I don't think you
No,
got.
I just got the motor.
Yeah.
I didn't get the box that it came in. That's what it looks like right there. This is 46.
Same as basically like a knockoff OS, isn't it? Like a second-hand OS, I think.
Chinese
like an MDS. What do you say, John?
I'd say they're a Chinese version of the OS, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I thought maybe I'd throw a Venturi and needle valve on them and see how they run.
Yeah. See if they both
Price is right. What you got to lose?
See if they both
Nothing.
that Air Cobra I gave you, Carl.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
Yeah. And let me let John Miller in, and then after John Miller, Gordon Delaney and Keith Trossel and Philip. So go ahead, John Miller. What you been up to?
Well, I thought I got lost there, and we had that little glitch where we must have had some bandwidth problems, something everybody locked up. Next thing I know, I was out in left field somewhere. But anyway, I spent the day today discovering or searching out what may have been the root beginnings of monoline control. I spent most of the day out snaking the line. I found out, twist it this way, it goes that way, So monoline control. Plumbing snake, they got a lot in common. Other than that, though,
Santa Claus is talking.
I haven't done. I did go in, Gordy, and oiled up that side exhaust just to make sure, see what the compression was like. It's a real strong compression. So, actually, all three of those engines got good strong compression. So,
Yep.
Yeah. And the muffler from it's got its own muffler, but there's a little note in there. The muffler from the OS 25 fits it as well. So just in case you want to change mufflers.
Oh, on the.
Other than that, not a whole lot to add. Got hotter than hell here today. It's 105, 106 here where I was at, and it's just now starting to cool off. So let me send it over. Who did you want to go to next? Is it Gordon or was it?
It's Gordon.
I'll
Gordon's
try
next. And after Gordon would be Keith Russell and Philip Bailey.
Well,
all right.
Yeah, we got enough for a second coat.
It doesn't need like seconds.
Phil here. And I also have a question for Mark Wise. Is he still with us?
Yeah.
Yep.
Mark, several months ago, I joined Pampa again, and I haven't received a magazine since. Oh,
Okay. Thanks for letting me know. I'll take care of it tomorrow.
okay, thank you.
No problem, Gordon.
And my show and tell, this is a stab for my new Pathfinder profile. You might see it's got some 8 square spruce on the tree edges and
Oh, okay. Interesting.
cap on the end. And you glue that on center line and then you sand down to it. That way,
Okay.
it's a nice straight taper on your elevators.
Very nice.
And then, go ahead.
That wood looks really light.
Well, I'm afraid it's too light. It's only 1.4 ounces.
That stab and elevator is 1.4.
4.
Hey, Sparky, do you hear that, Sparky? That's below the 2 ounce. You're able to.
With hardware?
I'd like to see it at 2, 2.25.
Let me have it for a short while. It'll be heavy.
I think
Okay.
Jim was asking, do you have hardware in there? Is that including the horn?
No, that's just what you see
Okay.
here.
All right.
Now, then I spent about an hour making this elevator horn. You can see it's got a wrap here on each side of the upright. Bart Kopensky showed me this a while back.
It has a what? I'm not sure if I understand what you're saying.
Well,
Did you say rat
Wrap.
tail?
and then you file a hole that's smaller than the main horn, and you wedge another piece of piano wire through it. And then you wrap it with copper wire on both sides and sweat solder it. And once you do that, even if it doesn't hold, you cannot break it loose.
Oh, wow, neat.
So it's keyed.
Yep.
So anyway, I've had a failure on my LE on the elevator horn.
Oh, man.
And since then, I've been doing it this way on my other airplanes. And they're never, ever going to fail. So,
That's a good tip, I think.
yeah, that was Bart Penske's doing. So he told me that several years ago, and I had to lose the solder joint on my LE before I got smart.
Yeah, sometimes it takes something unfortunate to get us to really do something different.
Well, I was fortunate I didn't lose the airplane.
Yes, I agree.
I was doing an hourglass and I noticed it had a little kind of an MWs when I was going back. And I went ahead and pulled out. I didn't do that. So I went and did another one. And about part way up, it did the same thing again. So when I pulled out, I float level till the flight ended. And that's when I found out the SAR joint had come loose.
Hey, I know something else that has that problem.
Yeah. 2 peas in a pod.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me get something out the chat box. Tony, this is Brendan. He said, forgot to give a big thanks to Steve Smith for taking the time to watch Angstrom's practice and give us some pointers. It was great meeting him. That's the original Steve Smith in St. Louis. You hear that, Steve? I know you're muted, but just, all right, cool. All right, so then, Gordon, I didn't mean to interrupt. Was you done, Gordon?
I don't know. Could you see the spruce cap on the end?
I saw it in the trailing edge, and I did see it on the end. Let me make it big. Hang on 1 second. Let me get my mouse over there. And so that's spruce on the ends. Okay.
Here on the cap.
And how thick is that? What are the dimensions of that spruce?
On there, it's only 1/8 inch. But on the trailing edge, it's 8 square. So this is a little bit wider. And let's see, but it's an 1/8 inch wide, just wide enough so you can glue it on. This stab is glued to the stab before I ever shape it. And then this glues straight across, and that gives you something to sand down to. Because I taper my stab in the elevators, they start at a 1/2 inch, taper down to 1/4 inch. And I'm a little upset that it came out so light. So,
that's funny.
Seriously.
Wow. Well, what made you decide on spruce as opposed to basswood or any other wood?
Well, basswood would work too.
Hey, you could make the tail longer, Cordy.
Or wider.
Yeah, that's a nice problem to have. Make it wider.
Yeah, well, and I considered adding another 1/2 inch to the cord on the stab. But it's 28 inches long, so it's a pretty long stab.
Very good. Well, thanks for coming in, Gordon. I still have a lot of people waiting for me. I have Keith Trossel, who's back from, I think Steve Smith has a question. How much does it weigh?
1.4 ounce.
Yeah, that's pretty light. And then we have Keith Trossel. Keith, I'm so glad you made it back home safely. I saw you on the videos, and I was so glad that you made it there safely. So I'm just happy that you're back.
Yeah, it is a good trip. Yeah.
So what's been happening with you? I know that you went to the Nats, and how'd things go?
What, for me?
Yeah.
Went back there to fly Old Time Classic and spent all my energy on scale, and didn't rest well that night, and went out to fly Old Time the next day and just didn't feel right, so we didn't fly. And besides, the engine wasn't running right, so I don't know what was wrong. I think it's a glow plug, but we'll find out tomorrow or the next day. I take this thing out and see if it runs to a different plug. We'll see.
Did you fly Classic?
Nope. Just didn't have the energy for it, Gordy.
I can relate to that. Yep.
I didn't rest well that night, but scale went okay. I was surprised.
That's good. As I know you had a little bit of concern about your scale models. You haven't flown them in such a long time. And so that's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah, they've been hanging on the wall since before we moved here 8 years ago. So cleaned up the engines and the tanks, and they all started pretty good. The 3-engine thing, once they were set up and primed and burped, I'd have all 3 engines going like in 20, 30 seconds.
Wow.
Cool. That's very good. Well, the person that was next stepped out to walk his dog. That was Philip Bailey. So then we have Jonathan Carradas. You're back? All right, Phil, what's been happening with you? And then after Philip, we have Jonathan Carradas, Tim Juss, John Skukalak, and then Peter Nevi.
Lord, there's a bunch of us tonight.
Yeah.
I just
at
got
one
back. I just got back from a week at the Nats, and it was a blast. Mark put on a heck of a show. The guys put on a heck of a Nats, and old time classic profile, not profile. Old time and classic went really well. I mean, it was quite a show. There's a lot of flyers in classic. Not many in old time this year. I was kind of surprised, but I don't know. But when you got to the L pad watching the big guys fly, you know, the sharks that swim in the deep end of the pool down there, those cats were on kill this year. I mean, every one of them seemed to have their sights set on kill. The twins flew very well. The regular ones flew very well. And I don't know, Dennis didn't get the scores I thought he should have gotten. He looked really good. I don't know. It was a great Nats. It was a lot of fun and a lot of good people to talk to and cut up and learned a lot. And I believe next year is going to be a blast. If Mark can put on near the worlds that he put on Pampa Banquet, just even get close, everybody's going to have a blast. It'll be a good time for everybody. It was a lot of fun.
Very
good.
The old boy the old boy won't toot his own horn, and he I don't know. I haven't seen Mark fly a whole lot. He's been too busy working, but he's pretty capable old dude.
Very good.
And Mark does a good job. He does a real good job. It did put on a heck of a show. And the people that he's been lucky to have some really good people working with him. I know several of them, and they've done quite well together. Just keep doing what you're doing, Mark, and you're going to do very well.
Thank you, Phil.
Gordon, what was you trying to say,
I'll see you in West Virginia.
I just wanted to ask Phil if he got to see Frank McMillan's twin fly.
I did. And the round that I really went over and was paying attention, at the end of the flight, it let out a sound that I cannot even begin to tell you what it was, but I think the inboard engine spun on the propeller. The motor spun faster than the prop did. It slipped on the shaft, and it made an unbelievable sound, and it looked like it tried to come in after him. So I'm sure it was the inboard engine. But I hope he got it fixed. I had to leave right after that, but that thing was unbelievable.
Oh, did he crash it?
No, he saved it. At least that flight he saved
It had
it.
retracts too. It had retracts too, and it really
It sure did, and they worked flawless. They were beautiful. The plane is beautiful on the ground. It's forgot the name of it, something 77. But it was beautiful on the ground, but in the air, it was a work of art. It really was sharp.
Wow. I hope somebody will post pictures on it.
If I've got your email address, I'll send you 3 pictures on it. I took 2 or 3 pictures of it. The biggest surprise to me of the whole week was Fitzgerald's plane ended up scoring at least a point less than what I would have given it. That was at least 1 row back further than I thought it should have been. It was a beautiful airplane. And it flies quite well, but then I believe he could fly a rock. But
He fly a rock.
Fitzgerald, if you count Fitzgerald out, man, I was really hoping that this was going to be my buddy's year to win the Nats. I really was. And I really thought that he could do it. And when I left, Dennis sent me pictures of the score sheets, and he was in first place. He qualified for the top 5 fly off on Saturday, and he was in first place. Unless I missed something, he was in first place.
Who's that?
But Dale Barry.
Oh, Derek.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was doing really well. He won the concours, and he was flying really well, looked really good. But if the first time that you let your guard down and give, and don't think that Fitz is going to do something, he's going to come back 5 points and whoop you. That's apparently what he did. Fitzgerald is a machine, and he's really, really good. But he's such a nice guy, you can't not like him. But dang, he's a good pilot.
Let me go to Jonathan Karadas. Hey, Jonathan, thanks for coming in from New Zealand. How you doing?
Yeah, good. Still no flying. The weather's so bad. All the fields are closed and what have you. And before I go any further, I'd just like to concur with Phil. I didn't see all the national stuff that Sparky video, but what I saw was great. I really appreciated it. It's a fantastic event, and I don't know. I'd love to get there one day and have a look.
I'd love to have you.
I've got another one out of the roof just to work on, and I'll hold it up. See if you can guess what the engine is.
Let's see.
I don't know whether you can see it.
Any guesses?
It's like a Vico.
Vico, yeah.
Is that Typhoon or whatever it was?
It's a Johnson.
It's an Australian motor.
Okay.
Well, it looks
you
like
fly clockwise?
It's a Taipan. I think it's about 1954.
Taipan. Okay.
Taipan Sabre. And I got it. It hadn't been run, and I ran it in, and boy, it really hums. And I didn't have the plans for a ringmaster with the ringmaster week coming up a couple of years back, but I'm lucky. I've got a fairly good visual memory, and I drew the thing out on a bit of paper, and I was within about 1/4 of an inch. You wouldn't believe it, but I did the fuselage in the style of the hang on, I'll do it that way around. What do you call it? The Imperial.
Yeah.
The Imperial version, and I was worried about the weight, so I took a whole lot of weight out of it, and I took so much out.
Oh, gee!
I then had to add it.
That's neat. Uh-huh.
Put a bloody great washer on the end of it, but the thing only weighs about 750 grams. And the wheels I made, because we fly on grass most of the time, I made these out of plywood. I make my own wheels quite a lot out of plywood. They're very light, and they provide very little resistance.
I think that's neat.
What else can you see about the setup that's a bit unusual?
Yeah, the motor's on the inside.
Correct. I put it there because of the exhaust system.
That's what I was thinking. It's got to be because of the exhaust.
Any other way.
Like a Forerunner.
Yeah, the exhaust would have been uphill, up here, sticking up on top. Look ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
like an
I
old
put
KB.
it on the inside, and this wing is I think it's 1 bay bigger from memory. I made it slightly bigger on the inside, but this thing actually flies quite well, but I've got to get a bit more elevator out of it. I'm not happy with it. It's I'm not getting enough down elevator, so I'm going to mess with that. And my own exhaust system, I build my own. I won't go into why it's the way it is, the shape it is, but I build my own exhaust systems. When I can't get them, I just make them myself.
Wow.
It goes okay. Flies really well.
Very good. Very impressive, Jonathan.
Quite a little bit different.
That's really cool. That's super cool.
That is
a little bit different. So that'll keep me out of mischief. That plus I've been messing with the humbug plans. I don't know where that came from. I think it came off Stunthangar here. I read something on it the other day, and I thought that's an interesting sort of a model. And then I designed a Lightning myself, but not for twins, just for a single engine. And I thought,
I might actually hybrid the Mustang, the Lightning that I've designed with the wing of the humbug. So anyway, that's what I'm sort of messing around with at the moment. So that's me.
Very cool. Thank you, Jonathan. And then we have next, we have Tim Jess, and then John Skukalak, and then Peter Nevi. Hey, Tim, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. I just want a second. I just got back this morning from Muncie, and I agree with everything that I said before. The banquet was wonderful. If you just went for that, it was probably worth the drive. And and I've been enjoying. I don't know how many people have got a copy of Win Paul's book. And it's just wonderful.
I wish I had a copy, but
he's got plenty of them left. And,
yeah, I know, but I need $200 or even more now because of the shipping.
Yeah, it weighs 11 pounds or something like that. They are not light.
It is not light, that's for
I'm
sure.
curious, Mark, do we have a historian? Does Pampa have a historian?
Yes, we do.
Because someone's going to have to start working on volume 3 here.
Yeah. Yeah, that's David Shorts. He's our historian.
Oh, perfect. All right. So, and I just, the weather back there was perfect. The competition was really fun. The top 5 was anybody's till the last round. And I think I got to jump into the appearance judging conversations. I thought they got it just right. So I needed 17 points. I got it. And I finished 1 row in front of Sparky with my doped airplane. So I'm pretty happy.
Which one was yours, Tim?
Yeah.
I got 17.
No, which plane?
Oh, an impact, red, white, and blue impact.
Red, white, and blue impact. Yeah, it deserved to be up there. Pretty airplane.
It was just a lot of fun. And so I can't wait for next year.
Very good.
Let me ask you one dumb question. What color is that blue?
I don't know. It's I don't know. I'll find out. I mean, it's on the can. I just went down.
Appreciate it. It's just such a brilliant blue, and it looked good.
Yeah. It's very close to Ford. The blue Ford puts on their this year's Mustangs.
The Lightning, Lightning blue, that's beautiful. Well, it sure looked good.
Yeah, it was fun. And you're right.
Tim, what power system did you have?
I had a 3515 with a Fioretti timer and the Thunder Power 6S. Same as, I think, almost identical to what you're using.
Yeah, I have the Igor system, but
okay.
Dark side.
Welcome to the dark side, my boy.
Very cool.
So I'm going to put an Igor in one of them. I've got it. I just haven't used it yet.
Now I got to get Igor to send me one. I'm trying to order one. I can't get. I'll figure it out.
Is your impact close by there, Tim? I really didn't see it. The coverage.
Yeah, hang on a second. It's not too far.
All right, thank you. I'd love to see it. I like your other planes I've seen.
Yeah, he's too darn good with the paint.
And
hey, Charles.
Yes, Mark.
Can I get in just a quick second?
Go ahead.
Yeah. Just remind me of something. We got really lucky this year at the banquet and with Pampa that we had some people donate cash, other things, and an anonymous donor who's a Pampa member made these. I don't know if you'll be able to see them on
Hang
here.
on, Phil. Make it big. Oh yeah, I remember hearing about them being very nice. Wow,
very nice.
They are very nice.
It's beautiful, and the reverse side as well.
Yeah.
Oh
and
wow!
If you look on the outside, you see the
Yeah,
names
you
of
got swimming or anything?
Frank McMillan and Win Paul and our own Keith Troussel as the real motivators, and everyone who had a ticket for the banquet got one of these. They come in 2 sizes. This is really the size everyone got, and the person who donated wanted this size because you can keep it in your pocket. It's a great memento, and I didn't want that to go unknown to those who weren't at the banquet.
Yeah,
Mark,
Mark, those are very similar to the United States Armed Services Challenge coins.
Oh, is
Very,
that
very
right?
similar to the Armed Services Challenge coins for special maneuvers and, special deeds that they hand out to
Yeah.
various DOD or, military units.
Ooh, that's pretty.
That is very nice job, Tim. Very nice. Wow, looks beautiful. So tell me, what is
You ought
it?
to see it in the
That
air.
paint? Is that paint?
What's that?
That paint?
Yes,
Okay.
it's all dope.
All dope. Very nice.
It's gorgeous. It in the air, that doesn't do it justice. In the sun, it just glistens.
Beautiful.
Really, really
paint,
pretty.
Tim. Very nice.
Now I just got to make one a little lighter.
Yeah, good luck.
That's always the case. So
Well,
next
the-
on
the
on
impact-
deck we have is
the designer
John.
gave me a finger wag on what it's supposed to weigh. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's all right. So next is John Skukulek. Hey, John, thanks for coming in. How you doing?
Good, good. How are you tonight?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
Good.
I've
I'm
had
mostly
like 20 people in here, and so I'm just appreciative. I'm grateful.
What's the record? Do you know?
Like 22.
Okay. Thought it was a great group. Yeah, I'm mostly just listening tonight. I went to the Nats and I was there just until we left Tuesday. I was there with my son and my 8-year-old grandson who flew in beginner, and we had a fabulous experience. And we've been chatting, talking about it ever since, and really enjoyed the opportunity to meet some of the folks on the show tonight in person and chat a little bit. It's an experience that left an indelible mark, and I think it's gonna hopefully lock my grandson and my son into being more active with control line. So
That'd be great. And is there a possibility all three can go out there and fly? You guys ever done that? Have 3 generations flying at one time?
well, in a contest we haven't, but that would be the next step. We do it here, on my property. We fly, and in fact, my son and I were going to fly an intermediate, but it was held at the same time as beginner, and we just got too wrapped up in watching and helping him, and we were happy to do that. It was a fabulous experience.
Yeah, well, Tyler definitely has a future, right?
Yeah, I hope so. If he stays with it, interestingly, if he flew real well, but it gave him the building bug. Since we get back, he's constantly wanted to get downstairs and work on airplanes. So
the fun thing was Tyler listened. There were several of us there that were there to watch the beginner intermediates and try to critique and help what we could, and he actually listened. So we got a young guy that'll listen. He's going to go well. He's going to go far.
That's super.
He absorbs, that's for sure.
I have Tim Jesse raise his name digitally. I mean, raise his hand digitally. Hey, Tim.
Yeah, I just wanted to add something. Did everybody? I don't know if everybody knew, but Chris Cox had a medical event. Did you guys talk about that earlier?
We had not talked about it, but I was curious on how he's doing. Do you know anything about Chris?
Yeah, I spoke with him today, and we've been keeping up with each other. They're about a day from being home, maybe 2 days from being home, and taking their time. He's going to be 100% okay. And we were flying together Friday morning on the LPAD, and everything was fine. And we went to lunch. He wasn't feeling well, and then he didn't eat. We went back to the hotel, and the second he got to the hotel, Joan knew something was wrong, and she called 911. And the paramedics came and got him, and he was actively having a heart attack at that moment. So I went over to the hospital with him, and they could not have been. It's from our hotel to the hospital was about 4 minutes away. And
nice.
They had 2 cardiologists on staff, and they put in a stent.
2 stents.
And then they kept him there for a couple of days and put in more after he recovered from the first series of them. But what I wanted to add, and I think you guys might enjoy this, is because he was recovering 100%, we decided we need to have a little bit of fun with him. And this is the new cover of
fake news. There you go.
Stint news. That's funny.
So
that's
and underneath the top it says Precision Artery Management Pilots Association. So I took the picture and I sent it to, and Chris was there. I was talking to Chris while they were wheeling him in the and I sent it to Jim Aaron and I said, can you put this on the cover? Can you make a stunt news? And maybe an hour later he called me and goes, oh no, not stunt news. It needs to be stent news. So that was the first issue. And then because Chris is recovering, here's one more that maybe you have or haven't seen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's terrific.
So
that is good.
Anyway, so I just wanted to share that. And Chris is in great spirits and it's going to make a 100% recovery. And so that could have gone just so wrong, and it worked out to be a very, very happy ending. So I just want to share that.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. That is funny, and that's uplifting. That's funny. That's great. Hey, John, did you get a chance to finish everything you wanted to say, John?
Yeah, I did. Like I said, I'm mostly listening tonight. Thanks for all the helpful information to everyone.
Oh, you're most welcome. Let me catch up on the chat box. Edward Carlaw gave us a like, so that puts us up to 30 likes. So thank you very much. But no new members. Please consider joining. I mean, I'm a member. I pay the $4.99 a month. It's like 17 cents, less than 17 cents a day, and God, you get great information. So I just don't understand. I know we're a small number of people in the world that fly control line, but please participate. Please chip in. Just if everyone does a little bit, and make a difference. And there's some of us here are members, but not all of us. So please join. I don't know what the holdup is, but please, you might have good reasons why you can't contribute, but I can, and I'm pretty much, I'll tell you, I'm usually just a little bit above broke. Anyways, let me bring Peter Navai in. Hey, Peter, how's it going? Thanks for coming in.
Okay, hey, Tim, I deserve to be on Stent News as well. I've got 9 of them.
Be careful what you wish for. Jim Aaron with his Photoshop is deadly. So we'll.
I need a Stent News. Anyway, this is for Mark, or for the entire group. I don't know if anybody really knows this, but not this Nats, but the last Nats, I contributed a couple of laser printers because for some reason nobody was able to supply any type of printer to print the results off the computers. So I was approached for the last Nats, and they were looking for some printers. So I donated a couple of printers, to tabulate or I guess print out the Nats sheets for the last nationals. And that's where I got this T-shirt from, and they brought it back for me from the last Nats.
See your shirt. Oh,
Yep.
nice shirt.
Right there.
Yeah, very nice.
And but what I want to tell Mark is that this Nats, this upcoming Nats next year, and the World Championships that are coming up after that, is prime opportunity to get media coverage. Have you considered trying to get really involved with media coverage to cover the Nats and the World Championships? I mean, really, how many times do we have World Championships in the United States? And besides that, if you guys ever need any kind of technical experience or technical help as far as IT or streaming video or whatnot for those 2 events, I'm more than happy to lend my lend my services.
Hey, Peter, that's awesome. Yeah, the AMA has become much more sensitive to getting the word out. Matter of fact, this year they did something. It was a trial, and I thought it was a great idea. On Saturday night, before the banquet, they set up a big movie screen at the L pad, not literally on it, but on the grass side of it.
Mhm.
And they showed the movie Maverick, Top Gun Maverick, and they invited local town people to come out. So it was just the start of them, reaching out. They're going to do more of it, and they have talked about media coverage for the Nats next year. So I expect to see something. I stay very close to them, and I'll report when I know things, are happening. But
It's like just like I said, even for in representation of Pampa, because of course I am also a Pampa member. If you guys need anything, because I plan on attending the Nats next year and staying over for the World event.
excellent. Thank you, buddy. I'll remember what you said. Maybe you could run the Nats.
I can't run the Nats, but I can certainly set up a half a dozen or more AV cameras. I mean, I know Sparky does a really great job, but maybe between him and me, in between Sparky and me, we can really get some good streaming coverage of the various events.
Okay,
Not necessarily just only stunt, but
right. Well, thank you, buddy. I appreciate that very much.
yeah, just keep me in mind, and yeah, whatever you need.
Thank you.
Go ahead, Jonathan Karadas. You got to unmute your mic, Jonathan.
Oh, you got to unmask. There you go.
Yeah, it's getting busy around here. Kids have just got home from school, grandkids got home from school. Peter, I wanted to ask you something. Where's he gone? Is he there?
He's still here. He's still here.
Yeah, can't see him, but anyway. Peter, I wondered where you said you got 9 stents. Can I have my springs back, please? I wondered where all the ballpoint springs went.
I'd give them up as gladly as I can, but unfortunately, I can't just give them up that easily.
Ow! All the pins around here are buggered. They don't go.
Let alone the postage.
Looks like Tony Sanbendetto is making his way in here. Hey, Tony, how you doing?
All right.
What you been up to?
I got the plane fixed.
Oh, really? Fantastic. Let me see
Yep.
it.
Let's turn the camera around. Oh, how do I do that? Oh, there it is.
Oh,
So I
good.
used the clear Gorilla Glue, like you guys told me to. This stuff. I think John Miller told me to use that. So it went all back together good. Wing is on. I put some spacers right here. It was sinking in really bad and the nuts were getting loose. Clean my motor up. Clean the pipe up. It's just a header pipe. New
All right.
gasket on it.
Very good.
Yep.
That's the crack right there on the bottom. The glue kind of ran down. I fell asleep. Didn't wipe it all the way up when I was done, but I flew it 3 times Saturday.
Oh, good.
Inside, outside loops. 8. I did everything. I cut it really hard, did tight squares, and it all held together good. So I'm happy.
All right. Very good. I've never used Gorilla Glue.
Well, it's styrofoam, so I think John Miller was the one that told me to use that.
I don't know. I don't know, but I'm glad to hear something good about Gorilla Glue.
Yeah, good stuff. Is that an SF40?
It's a Streak 2, Flight Streak 2.
No, the engine.
Yeah, it's a FS OS FP40.
Yeah. Yeah, they go good.
Very
Good
good.
motor.
I see you have a chicken hopper tank, and for
Yeah.
some reason I've had very poor results using the chicken hopper tanks. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but I've pretty much given up on chicken hopper.
Yeah, but his tank is so short.
I can only put 3 ounces in it. It's 4.5 ounces. If I fill it up, it goes for like 12 minutes. It's Yeah, it's too big.
Too big.
But I got a question. I see on some people they put a like like a tube on the end of this. And they extend it out with like a clear silicone tube that looks like something that you would clean your fish tank with.
I don't see that being necessary, to be honest with you.
I think the combat guys do it over here to stop the all the dirt and snot getting into the venturi when you're praying it. I put stockings over mine. Most of mine have got, well, that one hasn't, but most of mine have got stocking over them.
Yeah,
For that same reason.
Combat
Good in the
guys
summer too.
call it a dork tube. You put a piece of bladder material over the venturi. And then when you're in a match and you go in the ground, prevents the dirt from going in the engine. But you don't need it on that.
No.
In the summer, it's good for
It looks
dust
like you have
too.
the perfect setup for that motor.
So it all went together really straight, at least on the leading edge. The trailing edge, I'm off just a hair. I'm off just a hair here, and I noticed it as soon as I started flying. So when I'm inverted, I can just barely see the outboard wing, and then when I'm regular flight, it's wanting to fly real level. So I'm thinking about putting a trim tab on the outboard wing.
Yeah, yep, that'll work.
So I was thinking an aluminum can piece. I don't know if they still sell that squirt soda that has the yellow aluminum. That look, at least I would have to paint that, and then maybe use I don't know, hot glue or something. I don't want anything permanent out here.
No.
But I want a little tab right there to kind of give my wing a little bit more lift, so that it doesn't do that strange,
But
torque.
remember when you put a tab on there, it's going to affect level flight as well as inverted flight.
Yeah, that's right.
So my level flight, the outboard wing is down.
Oh, okay.
What does it do? What does it do? What does it do when it's inverted?
It's up.
It's up. So you're warping the wing.
I can see the outboard wing when I'm upside down.
So you gotta
Okay,
slide.
then then the tab would work.
Yeah. You can use hard clear plastic from a blister pack.
Yeah.
When you buy tools and stuff from the from the hardware, you can use that double tape it. Then you can cut it, bend it to any shape, and then you can cut it if it's too big or whatever.
What's that wing made out of?
It's foam.
That's a foam wing?
Yeah.
What kind of covering you got on it?
Monocoat.
Okay, so forget the turn tab. What you do is you take the airplane and put it up on the nose and put the wing between your legs and take the heat gun. Not the iron, but the heat gun.
Melt it.
Put a slight downward twist. Put a slight downward twist or an upward twist towards the end, and then heat up the covering and let it tighten. You understand what I'm saying? And then that should straighten it. Because that's a foam wing, it's not wood. That should straighten real easy with just a little bit of heat.
It is all styrofoam, and I can
Yeah,
see it
just use
definitely getting soft if you put a heat gun on it.
Yeah, but you don't want to, when it's foam, I'm saying you don't want to do too much too fast, just real far away, real quick, and just to tighten up the monocoat so it holds the foam in place.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it gives you a little bit of up dihedral or down dihedral, whichever you need to go, whichever way.
Well, you could tweak both wings. Outboard wing tweak down, inboard wing tweak up.
Yes.
Yeah,
that would. What I
That's
would
how we do
suggest-
it. That's how we do it on the combat circle, the combat airplane. Instead of putting trim tabs all over the airplane, you just take the heat gun and fly it around a few times and see what it's doing, which wing is where and how, and then bring it in and twist it a little and heat it up and let it, and then go again until it's perfect. You mean you might have to do it more than once.
What I would suggest, I would suggest putting a temporary tab on there to figure out where the wing needs to be. Because the heat gun technique is absolutely valid, and I ascribe to that. But you want to know exactly how much you want to put into that wing. So a temporary tab will tell you how much you need to put in that wing. Once you know how much you need to put in that wing, then go with the heat gun and make it permanent. That's my suggestion.
Okay.
Yeah, you can tape it on. You can tape it on. That's no big deal.
Right on. Sounds good.
All right.
I haven't flown little termites yet, but they're ready to go.
Oh, look at those! Look badass. Nice.
There are a couple little rippers right here. I
Wow.
haven't flown them yet, but I can't
Those
wait.
are cool.
Yeah, very cool.
Wow.
That is neat.
Those are neat.
Very neat, man. That's awesome, Tony.
Yeah.
I'm sure your kids are going to have a blast with those things.
Those are some sweet little half
Not to mention you all will too.
Those are way
Yeah,
cool.
they look good.
Very, very good. Awesome.
All right, guys. Well, that's all I got to put in. I put smaller wheels on my Banshee and haven't flown it yet, but I'm sure it'll change.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, people, we've had a really good show. Thank you so much. I appreciate everyone coming in and had a lot of good conversations and good show and tells. So hopefully you have a chance to do some more flying this week and work on your planes in your shop, and then be able to come back Friday and tell us all about it. And so until then, let me end the live stream.